with your permission, Dr. Dev, I do want to start off with an slightly personal story, a couple of short ones. So I was growing up in Hyderabad, and I remember much before me in my home was this nice gray solid steel almirah. It was almost like a sibling for me, and my parents never allowed me to touch it or open the door. So I had this ambition: when I grow up, I'm going to open this door as many times as I want. And then, many years later, when I started my career, I was a sales guy, right, from my first job. And I had this opportunity to go to this very large conglomerate, spread over 3,500 acres. It used to take me almost 30 minutes from the security to reach the office. And everybody was very helpful, very courteous with me. For somebody like me who was not very good in his job, gave me an immense sense of achievement. As if it was because of me, they were courteous and helpful. I'm talking about Godrej, I'm talking about Godrej Interio. Absolutely my privilege, Dr. Dev, to welcome you. It is, when I had the opportunity to have you on the fireside chat, I really was super excited about it. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome. Glad to be here, and believe me, I know it is 6 o'clock. All of you are raring to go out. So I will probably answer the questions in form of stories and anecdotes. So bear with me on that. I hope to entertain you a little today.
That sounds really good, interesting. Dr. Dev, more than 20 years across 4 of the top brands in country: Coke, Pepsi, Nokia, Idea, and of course now with Godrej Interio. Would absolutely love to hear from you. What would you see as the evolution of consumer business and the retail, right, in India?
Yeah. So India is retailing has been evolving for ages now, and I am an ardent student of retailing as well as how to get the goods to the consumers. I did my PhD, my doctorate from University of Calcutta in exactly this subject, so very close to my heart. And interestingly, Professor Arrow won the Nobel Prize in Economics long ago, 1972 or 1973, I think. He brought into the picture a very interesting anecdote. UK government, United Kingdom's government, was providing subsidies on fuel. Now, they were subsidizing the fuel itself. Now, Professor Arrow said, why are you subsidizing fuel? Whoever needs subsidies on fuel, the poor people, transfer amounts directly into their accounts. Something which, of course, Indian government has started following very recently. Now, the advantage of that is, we are solving the problem rather than solving the via media. Fuel is the via media. What is the problem? Heating is the problem. Now, once the government started transferring the money to the people, a very interesting thing happened. Some people just took the money and said, we will leave United Kingdom for warmer, cheaper countries, warmer climates during harsh winters, so I will save fuel costs. So they did that. People who needed the subsidy and wanted to stay in United Kingdom, they used the subsidy. People who did not need the subsidy, they paid the full amount. And this is a very interesting story because what we try to often solve for is the via media. Now, retailing, distribution, e-commerce, quick commerce, these are all via media. The need of the consumer is to get the goods to him in a very convenient manner. When, and if you study the history of consumerism, Lever Brothers sent an entire shipload, and those days were the sailing ships, a shipload of their soaps, Lifebuoy soaps and things like those from United Kingdom to Calcutta. And when it landed in Calcutta port, the representatives of that organization started thinking, how do we get it to the consumers? So they went into the wholesale markets in Calcutta and various other places and said, we will do wholesale to wholesale networking. So we'll sell it to major wholesaler, they will sell it to lesser wholesaler, and so on and so forth. In fact, the first distributor ever of Lever Brothers was this Kundu Brothers. Their ramshackle warehouse is still there in Calcutta for people who are interested in history of consumerism. But from there, it evolved into distribution, where these wholesalers evolved into distributors. Then some of these distributors said, I need to reach further. So they evolved into sub-distribution. They opened sub-distributors eventually in many other places. From sub-distribution, e-commerce came in. E-commerce, quick commerce said direct to consumers. So it has been evolving over the ages, and it will continue to evolve. There are organizations which today are looking to replace even distribution. So the best thing which is happening today is omni-channel, where organizations are realizing that consumer journey goes in a zigzag manner. It might start online with exploration. People might search online, then they will go offline and see how it is. And a lot of organizations have opened brick and mortar stores today. And then it comes back into online, and people may buy online, offline, anywhere. And the service is also very, very fungible. So the purpose, as Professor Arrow said, is not to subsidize the fuel, but to provide warmth to the customers and to households. So the purpose is to get the goods there. And to get the goods there, whatever is required has to be done. Whatever IT systems are required has to be used. And people often come and say, artificial intelligence, we have to use it. I ask, what for? If the first comes the problem, then comes the solution. If the problem is there, and of course we as an organization are also starting to use that, but we identified the problem first, and then we started using this. So customer experience comes first, and all of us here are gathered together to actually focus on customer experience, how to get goods to customers. So that is how it has evolved, absolutely omni-channel today. People cannot survive without omni-channel presence today. There are very few categories which can survive, maybe only on digitally native vertical brands are there, will survive, but a little bit of offline presence is required. And same thing goes for the other way around, that everyone has to be everywhere today.
Yep,
So that is
yep.
my take on it.
No, absolutely. I love the way you summarized a vast concept there. But getting a little deeper into that, if I look at the modern Indian consumer, the likes, dislikes, how do you engage with them? How does it decide what kind of engagement works with the modern Indian consumer?
See, modern Indian, and again, a small anecdote, there was this a trainer who had come to us showed an ascetic, a mendicant of the Buddhist order, sitting on a small hillock, and said, "What do you see here?" So, believe me, most of and he had divided the generations of Godrej employees into different generations, and Godrej, believe me, has people from 21-year-old to even 77 years old, because we do not believe in retirement as such. So people keep working. And a complete class of consumers or our people said, this is a mendicant or a ascetic sitting on a rock. And all the younger generation said, this is old monk or old monk on the rocks. So it is a perspective, how you see. So a complete generation of consumers have been brought up with, if I come back to our organization, and Sir also kindly shared that have been brought up with Godrej Storewells. Many of your homes would have a Godrej Storewell, or while you were a child, you would have seen a Godrej Storewell. 127 years ago, Godrej company was formed, and approximately 110 years ago, the Storewell came into the being. But today, we are a complete organization with more than 2 lakh SKUs, and Godrej Interio can make everything from anything which you see around you, we can make. And we have everything from sofas, chairs, beds, modular kitchens, modular furniture, modular beds, modular dining table, modular sofas, everything, modular cupboards in wood, steel, anything is possible. Today, we realize, and all these have been launched through great consumer insight. And consumer insight says 3 things. One is, consumers today want convenience. And convenience means they do not want to waste their time going to 3 showrooms, seeing the things around. So again, back to omni-channel. My catalogs, my brand.com website, own e-commerce website or marketplace availability has to be great, and the descriptions have to be great. Second, everything which is required has to be at fingertips. People do not have time to waste in going to showrooms for too long a time or going there 2-3 times. Even for service, they require everything to be informed to them. So a lot of IT and technology tools have to be used for consumer experience, and because this is a lot about consumer experience, they want to exactly know this is the time when the goods will be received by me. This is where, this is the time where the service people will come and install that furniture, and so on and so forth. As I said, we have shifted away from, say, standard bed, standard sofa, standard almiras, and said everything is modular. We use a lot of configurators, and those configurators are also available online. So we use a lot of configurators to do this. And while we use these configurators, a consumer can configure their products themselves. They can say, I need this, I need that, and they can do that. And even in modular kitchen, even in our mattresses which we make, they can configure things by themselves online, and they can just put an order. Or they can visit that store. Today, because of this, we also provide a service called measure and recommend. So we send people to consumers' homes and then say, we will measure. We have laser measuring devices and whatnot. We have augmented reality systems where people can see the furniture in their showroom. So this is all about experience. The second thing which we realize is color, material, finishes. Things are changing. Where from dull colors which would live forever, and I'm sure his Almira which he still lives with would be a gray or a metallic gray color which used to be there, to pop-up colors, to pastel colors, to colors which are more in the sense of not so glossy finish, non-glossy finishes, powder coatings. So a lot of color, material, finishes are changing. Even the material is changing. Today, kitchens, most of our kitchens are selling through acrylic finishes, or even using acrylic, back painted acrylic, back painted glass. So color, material, finishes is changing quite rapidly. And the third thing, of course, goes without saying is self experience. You might have experienced when you go into any retailing showroom, you don't want to be hassled by a salesman saying, may I help you, sir? You would say, let me explore. People today want to explore by themselves, be it online or offline, and we have to reorient our showrooms, etc., according to that. So, for example, because of this necessity, we have actually gone ahead with this AI system of product discovery system, where there is a panel in our showroom where people can just go and ask questions. Show me a 3-seater sofa in a very bright red, which will have fabric or which will have leatherite, and they will start showing you options. And then you can keep questioning. What will be a good sofa which will be good for this kind of an environment? What will be a mattress which will survive in sub-zero temperatures? Believe me, there are different mattresses for sub-zero temperatures and above zero temperatures. We supply to a lot of sub-zero climate climate kind of resorts, so we know. So a lot of these three things actually come into play. So just three things which I just noted. So things are changing very fast. We have to live up to the change, and a lot of research and intuition goes into this.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that gets me to an interesting angle I'm thinking here. 127 years old?
Yeah, 127 years young.
Old, right? You are a category leader. So, and then, as the head of the business, you have, I'm sure, the KPIs, growth, profitability, gross margins, and so on, right? So how do you manage the legacy aspect versus the agility, right? How do you balance the two at the same time?
Yeah, nice question. Again, let me start with a very small story. There was this monk and his student who went to one of these mountainous areas. He climbed up the mountain on a dirt track, and in distant Tibet, he reached that area, and then he was entertained very well by the villagers there. But while staying for those 2-3 days in the village, this monk realized that these are very poor people. They are very hospitable, but they are very poor people, and they are very behind, way behind from the modern amenities of life. So he kept asking them. They said, we are happy in what we are doing and we do not want to change. They would make some handicrafts, small handicrafts in that village, grow some tea in that village, and then they would load everything on a very old horse who was there, little lame horse, and they would march the horse down that dirt track to the nearby catchment area or a nearby feeder town, exchange those for whatever goods they needed, and would march that horse up to that village. So on the after 7 days of staying with that village, that monk told his student that take that horse, let's steal that horse, and we will take that horse away from these people. So they stole that horse, marched it down the village path, sold it off to the nearest town, and this just went off. The student did not say anything because the student has to believe in the master. After 3 years, when the student passed out and became a monk himself, head monk himself, he said, I did not ask you, master, why did you steal the horse of people who have been so hospitable and sold it off to the nearest village? So the master said, go back to that village and study at the village now. So the student went back to the village, and he discovered that there was a nice road going to the village. There were motor cars in that village, motorized trucks in that village, and they were quite more affluent than that what they were. So sometimes when you take away the crutch of a people, you often transform the place. So I joined Godrej 2.5 years ago, and there are three things which I did immediately. We will start providing the biggest crutch which we were living on is we did not give any time of installation or delivery, etc. I told my team, I want to give a 48 hours delivery and installation time to everyone. Now work around it and let the elephant dance. So often when you have basically you have to put the horse before the cart, and that vision actually awakened everyone. We brought in IT systems, we brought in all the possible things, we had to recruit people, we have to do everything else to create that customer experience thing. We actually invested in Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Service Cloud, and we integrated everything together so that we can provide that kind of an experience to customers. Because first comes customer experience, and when the word goes around, everything else happens. Second comes filling the product gap. We ended up introducing 350 new product families in the last 2 years. Rapid development, Godrej excels in rapid development, R&D and launch because we have 11 factories to boast of. We have an in-house R&D and design department. Everyone lived up to the expectation, everything was launched. While we did not have almiras below 20,000 rupees when I had joined, today we have almiras even at 16,000 rupees. From 16,000 to even 10 lakh rupees we have almiras today. Sofas, we have sofas for 15,000 rupees, we have sofas for even 3.5 lakh rupees, completely motorized and everything possible. So being a leader, we have to provide customer experience, and we have to provide everything that everyone wants with a bewildering array of color options. This UpMods, which is a modular furniture range, kitchens, which is completely modular. We can today boast of something that you make the floor and ceiling by yourself, everything else we can make for you. Whatever you want to make, you choose. We will give you the color, finish, material, whatever you choose. And that is what we have evolved to today in 2.5 years. And when you see an elephant dance, it's a lovely sight. And there is a book called When Elephants Dance. So organizations have to keep transforming themselves, otherwise 127 years is a very, very long time for an organization. So we have to survive for the next 200 years. We are not here to just do something in a short term and move out. Yep. So that is what I wanted to share.
No, Dr. Dev, absolutely. You promised us an interesting session. You absolutely delivered it. I hate to let you go, but I guess the time is up. But before you go, I have one question, and I hope you will answer it. You worked for four of the most famous brands, right? Coke, Pepsi, Nokia, Idea. And of course, now you're with Godrej. But among the four, if I have to ask you, which was your favorite and why?
I joined Godrej for a purpose, of course, because I would love to contribute to something which has been made by Indians and which is contributing to Indians. So we are an organization, Godrej Enterprises Group or Godrej and Boyas is an organization which spans 14 different businesses under this group, from appliances to interior, which is the furniture, to security solutions, locks, to aerospace, defense, and a lot of things which you see happening in India today are contributed by this great organization, from contributing to space exploration, to defense, to leading in the furniture sector, and which we are leading in the furniture sector, we are contributing. On the lighter side, I would love to say that I love working for the youngest organization. In fact, Godrej is 127-year-old, the oldest Indian organization. But among all the organizations which he named, we are the youngest. Pepsi is, Coca-Cola is 133 years old, Nokia 159 years old, and we are just below Pepsi in age at 127-year-old. So, youngest organization, I am happy to say. But jokes apart, very proud to contribute to an Indian organization, very much based in Bombay, very much based here. And I can, at least in this organization, despite being based here, being an Indian, I can proudly say I am the global head of Godrej Interio. I don't think in any organization I could have said that. I am proud to have worked in all the organization. We contribute a great bit to India, and we would love to keep contributing to it. So thank you on that, and I love all the organizations. This I find the best till now, culturally, in terms of contribution to this great country. So this is this is what I wanted to say.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Dr. Dev.